if you could introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Hi, my name is Tyree Reed.
All right, great, thanks. All right, so the purpose of the Living Archive Project is to gather, preserve, and share local histories, stories, documents, visual imagery, and memories about the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on Black, Hispanic, Asian, Indigenous, and other minority communities in the Mecklenburg County. Today is March 30th, and this week there were 58 reported cases of COVID-19 in the Mecklenburg County, which shows a 20% decrease over the last 2 weeks. Therefore, we're comfortable not wearing masks. All right, thanks for doing this interview. Tyree, where is home for you right now?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, great. And where are you born, or where are you from?
Georgetown, South Carolina.
Okay, cool. What brought you over here?
My mother started working for Oncewood's Carolina Medical Center just now 8 years ago.
Okay, cool. And how long have you been in the Charlotte area?
18 years.
Okay. Through your experience in the past 2 years, how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected you?
The COVID-19 pandemic has affected me. I lost a couple of family members due to COVID, so that's really a personal effect. A negative effect of it. A positive effect of COVID-19, though, is, I learned to be how to be self-sufficient. Just because when you're in your own house by yourself for a year, not really can't go away. You just learn how to, do certain things. I learned new hobbies. I learned how to kind of communicate a little bit better with others. You don't realize how important communication is with your family members until they aren't around. So that helped increase me reaching out to people, becoming a lot more open, being more social.
Mm-hmm. And you said your mom worked at Atrium Health. How did that impact maybe your guys' relationship?
It didn't impact our relationship much because she's on the administration side.
Okay.
So she just worked from home. She wasn't like a frontline worker or anything. They just worked from home, and we lived separately. So really didn't affect our relationship much in either way.
Okay, good. And so what do you remember of the early days during the lockdown?
Well, at the time, I was working 2 jobs. Was working at Walmart and then working at Queens. So early on, we got furloughed by Queens. So I was down to 1 job. Was still going into Walmart. Just remember wearing masks. There was barely anybody in there. Just really coworkers and different things like that. A lot of strict protocols. So that's what I remember about the early stages.
Okay. Was there a time that maybe you struggled during those early stages and someone came in to help you that maybe supported you during that COVID-19?
Definitely struggled once you got furloughed, and then Walmart ended up furloughing people. So it was the point where I didn't have a job basically, and I was home. And then my brothers came home from college. So instead of going to stay with my mom, they would come stay with me some days and stay with her. So they really helped, help me communicate with people, see people. We played a lot of games and video games, card games and stuff like that. So they definitely helped with just giving me a little bit of social life at a time. And then they bounced from me and my mother. So that was pretty cool. Since we're clearly the 2 oldest and we're years apart. So it's cool that they were making sure the 2 older people in the family were, had somebody to talk to and social with.
So you think that maybe the hardest part of your experience when it first started was the social part, where you couldn't really talk to
just
people?
Isolation, because when you work 2 jobs, you're around coworkers about, I'll say, 14 hours out the day, and the rest of the time you're just home and sleeping. So I was used to just always seeing people, especially when you work retail, you see new people every day. So just that not having that ability to socialize in my life was pretty hard.
Yeah. And so can you describe your experience about going out in public and maybe working at Walmart during the height of the pandemic?
So just seemed like a ghost town, to be honest with you. There's rarely any cars on the road. There was not that many people shopping. Like I said, not that many coworkers at the time because they were just slowly starting to furlough people. So it just started, increasingly becoming, like I said, like a ghost town. Just really seeing anybody, any traffic or anything. It was kind of weird, to be honest with you.
So did Walmart ever close while you were working there?
Walmart did not close while I was working there. I think they did after I furloughed. I can't remember, to be honest with you.
And so during that time, how did your routines change from your normal everyday life?
So I used to, work in the warehouse, crack it down in the morning, and go to Queens in the afternoon to coach. So the routines changed a lot. At home, it was mostly waking up. Couldn't cook out much, so you had to eat out much. So you had to cook. So I would cook breakfast. We were still doing like grade checks and communicating with our athletes at Queens. So we would do check-ins every now and then in the middle of the day, basically. Queens did a good job of having sometimes conferences over Zoom and stuff like that. So we interacted a little bit like that. Lunch and then, really dinner, to be honest with you, was kind of the same thing every day. If there was nothing on my schedule, it was more sitting around and just watching television.
Yeah. So what do you think some of the long-lasting consequences were for you personally in the pandemic? I'm sure there's some that you've seen through the Queen's Athletics and since you started working here, but for you personally.
So one of the consequences I would say would be positive, but like I said, it definitely helped me build a lot stronger connections with family members that were outside of Charlotte that I talk to now, actually go visit. Not all that started from COVID. Family became a lot more tighter. We do more family reunions now because we realize how important it is to see each other, once a year versus once every 2 or 3 years. So that was good. Negatively, the biggest thing would be financially. When you're not working, I used a lot of savings to kind of pay mortgage, pay car payments, and things like that. So right now, that'll probably, so positively it'd be the social life, negatively it'd be financially.
Mm-hmm. And then, so I know you talked about some more positive of it, but what is some good that you've seen that may have come through experiencing the pandemic?
People realizing the importance of life and how short life can be.
Yeah, exactly. So what was the process like transitioning over time as restrictions and recommendations have come and gone?
Repeat that, sorry.
So what is the process of transitioning through over the time as restrictions have come and gone? Like you could say, for example, through Queens, how our second year back here after Corona, we still had to wear masks.
Oh, gotcha.
And then some months we wouldn't have to wear masks, and it would just go back and forth. So what has that been like for you?
That's definitely been a struggle. It's been frustrating because it's just some people, like, to be honest with you personally, I don't feel like you should have ever had to wear a mask. Like, it's just me personally, and I'm not a vaccine guy. So just the restrictions that they put on our personal freedoms has been the most frustrating part, to be honest with you. And just having to follow, certain rules that you just don't believe in is hard. And then every time, like you said here, like we, at Queens, we went from masking to no masking, and then it went up, like, what was this, a couple of months ago, beginning of this year? It went up in Mecklenburg County, and then we're back to mask.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't masked in over a year. Like, it was just like, why are we doing this? It just kind of makes no, I understand it's for safety purposes, but I also think that, people should have the right to do what they want to do. It's their body, is their life.
Yeah.
So that's the frustrating part about the changing, the constant changing, or the back and forth. It's just eventually, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't, you don't. Just let people live.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Has going back and forth and going through all these restrictions tested your belief in what you believe in?
I would. It's a hard answer. I can't say yes or no because I kind of still did what I wanted to do unless I was outside. If that makes sense. Like if I came to work, I understand I have to wear a mask, but outside of that, I really didn't wear it. But I understand it was for the safety of others. So I say it's hard to say a definite yes or no that it tested my beliefs because I kind of still did it. I kind of still did. Majority of the time, I did what I wanted to do. It was still my choice. Like even with masking and vaccination, like that stuff is still my choice to get one or not get one.
Well, do you think you have a better understanding of what you stand for after the pandemic has happened?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think your future will look like now going through the pandemic? I know you work here at Queens. What do you think comes for you next?
Just financial stability. I think is what's next. I think I'm starting to build back savings and I was one of those people that didn't let my bills build up. So like I said, I took my savings at the time and paid it. So I'm not owing no one once now that COVID is over. I'm owing myself really and my savings. So it's just helping me create financial stability. And that's the goal of the future.
Okay.
Getting back to where I was pre-COVID, which was, in a good situation with house, family, cars. So just want to get back to that.
Yeah, well, that's great. Could we go to your hand map? And could you tell us about one of those journeys that you wrote, or what word did you write for one of those journeys that you would like to share?
I put student because I've been just balancing life as a full-fledged adult with a lot of responsibilities and a student, which also has a lot of time commitment and responsibilities. And my journey as a student, ironically, started, during COVID. Well, not March, not spring, which was the beginning of COVID, but the fall of COVID. So August, I started online school at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what really made me start school, was sitting at home and I needed something to do. And I never finished school, so really I was just picking back up. So I only had a couple of years left, so just really restarting the process.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's all the questions I have. I appreciate it.